Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Between the Stitches. I am your host, Brady Wilson, as always, with my co-host, Chase Olschwinger.
What's up, everybody?
And, of course, this episode, we have Zach Babb with us in the studio.
And it's going to be weird because I don't think we're talking hockey today.
Not too much hockey, so we're going to be, the Stars play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Season opener. The NHL opened up, yesterday?
Yep.
A couple days ago. So, hockey's back in full, hockey's starting to get into swing. Basketball starts pretty soon. However, that is not why I came here, and anyone that's listening that's DFW sports fan knows that's not why I'm in here. It's not why Chase is in here. Rangers are going to the ALCS, and to preface this, we have Zach in here for baseball today. He is an Astros fan, but before you click off and get this, he is a nice Astros fan. That's not one of those nauseating people that I met at the Astros Rangers games who were blaming other people for their trash can scheme. Zach is a very nice Astros, and we like Zach.
I'm not an Astros truther.
No,
I'll say that.
And
I'm just a fan. I was born and raised.
He picked wrong.
I was raised 30 minutes from Minute Maid Park.
Well, we'll fault your parents on that.
Okay, fair enough.
Parents.
They decided to move from Minnesota down to Houston.
We'll fault your parents now. But the Rangers are moving on to the ALCS, and we could not be, I think, more excited because I think coming into the season, I wanted to, hey, let's win. Let's make it to the ALDS. Right, that was my goal as a Rangers fan. Was we can make it to the ALDS, we'll probably get stomped by Houston or Baltimore, the way we've been playing, but we'll be okay. We made the playoffs. I'm cool, but we just stomped the crap out of Baltimore. Yeah. Like they didn't win a game.
No, it was complete domination. Honestly, I mean, look at game 2 when there's 11-8, but that game wasn't 11-8. It was 9-2 at one point, and then the bullpen comes in and shaky, but the offense was continuing to show life and firepower, and that wasn't a 11-8 win. That was a dominating 11-8 win, if that makes sense.
And they led in that game once.
2-0 to start.
It was 2-0 to start, and then we came right back and scored. But Zach's Astros have game 4 tonight.
Yep.
Urquidy versus Ryan in Minnesota. So Minnesota's got their backs against the wall. And Rangers fans, we need to stop this "we want Houston" stuff because we have
see how that really ended up for New York last year.
We have seen in history, not even just with the Astros, with any team, when the opposing team's like, "We want this team," it never ends well for that team.
Yeah.
That's usually the height. That's usually you can look at teams that lost that did that and go, "Well, that was their peak." Was right there. Those fans saying, "We want this team," and they get stomped in the next round. So no, we don't want Houston. I want the next team. That's all I'm caring about because we're in the LCS. And I did not expect to get this far.
There is so much weird, sports mojo, pulling this series in two different directions. If it ends up, for me, knock on wood, that the Astros don't blow a 2-1 best-of-5 lead.
Yeah.
But it's there are so many things that I look at, and I'm like, this could be terrible for the Astros. And then I look at something else, and I'm like, this could be terrible for the Rangers. Like you brought up, for example, the whole "We want Houston" chant. That's giving Houston a license to just beat the crap out of the Rangers.
Right.
But then I also look at the Astros winning the AL West on the last day of the season, and I'm like, that's the perfect script for they passed the Rangers at the last minute, and then the Rangers turn around and kick their butt in the playoffs. And I'm like, where is in a sport that revolves around superstition? It's like.
Yeah.
Which way are the baseball gods going to go with this? Right. I have no idea.
Exactly. Right? And it feels kind of like that script where it's, I said before the playoffs even started last week, obviously last time we talked to you guys, we hadn't even played in a playoff game yet.
We played Tampa Bay game 1 that night.
Yeah, it was that night. It started right as we left.
Yeah.
So, things have flipped, now. But I remember saying before that, the MLB would want a Houston Rangers. Because,
This is the culmination of everything that baseball wanted when they moved the Astros to the AL West.
Yes, and that's one thing. I've had talked with Astros fans. Why do you guys hate us so much? And I go, well, okay, baseball wanted a rivalry. They, people realize the teams were uneven. It was 16 in the National League, 14 in the American League, and baseball said, well, we got to fix this. And teams had flip flop before the Brewers went from the American League to the National League. And so they're like, all right, well, we're going to move the Astros to the American League West. We're going to realign and everything, and because we want this rivalry. And for the first several years, we kicked the crap out of you guys.
Yeah,
because that was the start of y'all's rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of still in that. We're really, that early 2010s we were still pretty good, and then it flipped and now you guys get the crap out of us. And now it's like, hey, now we're both getting good at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
This has a chance to be a great rivalry because it's going to be a civil war here in Texas, especially on Twitter. And I think it got fueled by all the Emily Jones stuff. All of the, I mean, if you go on Rangers Twitter right now, and a lot of it is, do we have permission from the Astros to celebrate this? Did our celebration last a little bit too long for you guys? Because that's
another. Speaking of the superstition, that's another thing that's like, do the baseball gods punish the Astros for that?
Right. Yeah, for talking, and I mean, you got to give them credit for waiting to talk. But I think that was, again, like I said earlier last week, was the Astros have been there. So, of course, they're not going to pop off and celebrate making the playoffs. They expect to make the playoffs every year, right? That'd be like the Braves in their middle of their 14-year reign.
Team of the 90s?
Yeah, in the NL East where they won the division 14 straight years. But, like, if they did it every single time. Well, no, because they've been there. They expect to do this. We didn't. This is the start of us being good again. When you guys were getting good again in the 2010s, y'all did the same thing we did.
Yep.
Y'all made the playoffs. Y'all popped bottles.
Yep.
And so is Astros writers not remembering history very well, apparently. But I think the fire has been stoked. And if Minnesota gets in, cool. But I think I kind of do want Houston a little bit, not because I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
That kind of rivalry in the ALCS heightened.
Just like you said, it's going to be a civil war within the state,
especially on Twitter.
100% on Twitter.
X, sorry.
Yes, X, whatever it's called now. Thanks, Elon. But it's just like it's like you said, it's the culmination of what Major League Baseball wanted 10 years ago when they made this move. And it's almost you can't write a script better than this of the Astros, the Rangers being so close, and then the move to the AL West, and then the rise of the Astros almost dynasty. I mean,
it's close.
Two championships in 6 years, and a couple other World Series appearances. One, and then the cheating scandal happens, and then the Astros, despite the cheating scandal, keep being one of the best teams in baseball. And then the Rangers starting to catch up after being the punching bag of the Astros for 5 years or 6 years during this run. And so, it's just, it's almost like you can't write a script better than this.
Yeah, it works. Obviously our rebuild started in 2017.
Yeah.
I kind of like how the Astros point to the Manny Machado deal. Rangers fans, we point to the Yu Darvish deal. Now, of course, none of those three guys are still with us. Calhoun, I think, went to the Yankees. Alex, he got claimed by somebody. And Brendan Davis, last time I checked, was, I think, AAA for the Tigers.
Yeah.
So none of the three guys panned out, but it was still, that was the start of the rebuild.
Yeah.
That was the start of, okay, we're going to have to, Josh Young was drafted. So it was the start of everything. But I think, again, Astros, Rangers, that is what they want.
Yeah.
It will be, and Astros fans are thinking, well, it'll be easy. We get the crap out of them in early September. This ain't the same team.
No, that's the thing. Is like this,
we're playing our best baseball.
Yes, and it's like I don't. Clearly, I mean, I'm an Astros fan. I don't like the Rangers, but there's a certain respect that you have for what this team is doing right now.
Yeah.
Because you look at just they haven't lost a game yet. They have been kicking the ever living ass out of almost every game they've played, and it's just like the Astros have the advantage, quote unquote, of, like you said, the been here done that. They know what it takes to win in the postseason, but also you've got a buzzsaw offense coming down the mountain right now, and it's just like it's the old unstoppable force meets an immovable object. The Rangers are playing so well at the right time, which is such an adage in North American sports as it is. You can be the 8th seed in the NHL and get hot and go win the Stanley Cup. The Rangers are kind of that team right now, and it's like, okay, is the Astros experience going to finally slow this down, or is this giant Rangers snowball that's heading down the hill gonna crash through a potential dynasty?
Yeah.
And again, going back to that team that played y'all, and I was going to add to those games. I like to remind everybody just because it was an awful experience. Scherzer was hurt. He was dealing with his shoulder. We didn't really know the extent of it yet, but he wasn't mechanically right. Evaldi, that was his first start back off the IL. That was his rehab start.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had, Garcia got hurt, and I think it was in that third game. Young was out, so this is not that team. And some of the other guys were not. I think
Carter wasn't called up.
Carter was not up yet. Seager was kind of in that September funk he was in. Simeon was Simeon. I mean, it was not the same team, and that was kind of, again, that was the rock bottom of the hill, because we had a really bad about month, and that was just the culmination of everything. That was the final spiral before we kind of started picking up the pieces and moving forward. So Astros fans think it's the same team. It's not. And if we get Scherzer back, that gives us, and even if it's 4 innings of Scherzer, if it's
4 innings of Scherzer is better than no innings of Scherzer.
If it's Max Scherzer, then we're fine. I'm worried about him because he's not mechanically right. We've seen he's very prone to big time not great starts. But it sounds like Gray could be back too. So maybe I'm thinking you piggyback both of those guys. Like, hey, you go 3, you go 3.
Yeah.
So I think that would work for because they're injuries. Then you don't want them going 8 innings and Scherzer tears that. Because it's the same thing that Kluber had with us.
Yeah.
When he traded Emmanuel Clase for 1 inning, Corey Kluber, and he tore that right to rest muscle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But this is just a strain. You don't want him to tear it because then you lose him for the next year. But if he feels healthy and the training staff feels he's ready to go, I'm pumped because it sounds like he's going to be good to go.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't make the LCS roster.
I will too. And Astros fans know all about Scherzer in the postseason.
Yeah.
2019 couldn't get out of bed for Game 5, gets out of bed for Game 7, goes like 6, 2 runs.
I was there dominant for that game. I was at Minute Maid Park for that game.
Yeah,
it was something to watch.
Him and Evaldi in the postseason, and again, this is playoff nasty Nate. We've asked Red Sox fans. This guy can pitch in the postseason.
Yeah.
He was a savior for them.
What was the stat line? He pitched 3 times in 4 days or something like that?
What, back in
Evaldi.
In 18?
Yeah.
It was something like that. Because the big one was in the 18-inning, I think it was, thriller in L.A., the one game the Dodgers won. He pitched like 6 innings in relief, and it was and they lost. And he gave up the walk-off home runs. Everyone was like, well, how is that a heroic effort? Well, it saved their bullpen.
Yeah. And
it allowed them to win the next day and have their bullpen ready and not have to expend it all because, it was an 18-inning game.
Yeah.
Muncy had a walk-off homer. So we know what Nate can do in the playoffs, and he's proving it. 7 innings, got the curtain call. He looked great.
He looks dominant.
Yeah. And
he looks post-All-Star break of Aldi.
And of course, and we've seen this too with him. His velocity goes up in the postseason. I remember, I think it was in that. I think it was 2 years ago with Boston in 21. He was hitting like 101. His fastball was hitting like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because he was pumped up. So he doesn't have that anymore, but he was hitting 98 last night.
Yeah.
So he was, boys pumped up. And I think, Chapman still scares me, especially against the Astros. He has his demons.
His history, yeah.
But see, I think that could be part of the storyline too.
Yeah, it's like Chapman redeems himself.
Final strikeout, is Altuve on a high slider.
Yeah.
He misses it this time.
Yeah.
I think that would be really poetic justice.
Yeah.
But this is not the same team the Astros kicked the crap out of a month ago.
Yeah.
This is a very good team that's playing if Lowe is the one guy slumping right now. I mean, everyone,
and he homered last
and he
night.
hit a bomb. So if he gets going, that's all 9 guys. And
firing on all cylinders.
And a lot of your guys are firing off. I mean, Abreu seemingly has found it.
Yeah.
Seager and Alvarez just look like 2 guys you just can't pitch to anymore.
My good. I mean, Alvarez has 4 home runs in 3 postseason games.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't get why Minnesota keeps pitching to him.
To me, this is and my dad called this comp several years ago. I think when he was first up, it was 19 when he was a rookie, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And we were watching him. He said, "This kid's David Ortiz."
That's the perfect example
in left field, and he can move a lot better than Ortiz could.
Yeah.
But it's David Ortiz as a hitter.
Yeah.
And in the postseason, he looks like David Ortiz.
And it's just the thing where it's like, if there's anything remotely close in the zone that's hittable, he is going to jack that thing into the stands.
I would bet right now, just going off today's game, I bet he hits a home run. Joe Ryan, we know, is a pure fastball pitcher. And Jordan's sitting on that.
If he leaves something up in the zone, Jordan's going to tank it.
Well, and that was the thing with Adolis last night.
Yeah,
because he had that. That's where I like John Smoltz because he was showing everybody the fastball is supposed to be here. He completely missed it. It was out middle high, and Garcia has to know I struggle against this high fastball. They're gonna throw it, so I got to be looking for it. And he was looking for it, and he crushed that.
Yeah.
I was almost doing front flips in my living room, trying not to scream. I was doing more dance moves than I was screaming. I didn't want to wake everybody up. I didn't want to get a noise complaint.
Yeah.
But it was a very Seager's home run was the one for me though, because just seeing that and I went,
Ball was
okay,
crushed.
we got this.
This is going to happen.
It's 1-0.
Yeah.
And then Garcia's was. Is it really happening? I think it is. And then
that's isn't that such an amazing feeling?
Yes.
Like last year for me in the World Series when Jordan went 450 to dead center in Game 6
against Alvarado.
It's like,
this is it.
We're gonna win.
Yeah,
this is insane.
You'll see Rangers fans had that. When Josh Hamilton hit the go ahead home run in St. Louis. I remember my dad was like, "This is it. This is how it's going to end.
Yeah.
We're going to win this thing."
Yeah.
And then
baseball is a cruel sport sometimes.
And then Lance Berkman came up, and
former Astro,
and former Killer B.
Yeah, but
the Rangers Astro, it's going to be fun, and we're talking about like it's going to happen. It feels like it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We could come on here next week and go, well, ladies and gentlemen, it did not happen. Minnesota won. And, now previewing Game 3 because Game 3 is next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So now previewing Game 3 tonight. I mean, because this is the next time we talk to you guys. We'll be 2 games in the ALCS.
Yeah.
But we know we're in.
Yeah.
And that makes me, and I think I posted on my Twitter. I was like, Rangers have 2 series wins. Astros have none. Who's the better team, really? Just because when we beat Tampa Bay, I did that. I said playoff wins, Rangers 2, Astros 0.
Yeah.
We're the superior team. I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be fun if it's Houston, and it's going to be fun if it's Minnesota. I'd probably rather face Minnesota on a paper, comparing teams, but they played us really well too.
Yeah, they did.
In 2 separate series here and there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it goes out to the old thing that my dad always told me about, the playoffs. You're going to face good teams anytime.
Yeah.
There's no weak team in the postseason.
Yeah, you get to the final 6-8 teams left. I mean, they're all
there's
all
a reason
good.
they're playoff
There's a
teams.
reason they're at that point. Yeah.
And that goes to all the people, all the idiots saying we need to change the base. Have you seen that? All the people saying we need to change the format.
Yeah, I'm not as a hockey fan, I hate that because it's like that's what playoffs is all about.
I don't like it because what it feels like is whiny crybabies who are mad that the Dodgers are getting smoked.
Yeah.
That Baltimore got smoked. And, I honestly have to say the Braves-Phillies game 2 probably saved the format for at least a few other years. Because if the Braves go down 2-0, then there is going to be a lot of talk about, 3 of the ALDSs are 2-0. That's not great for baseball. Mm-hmm. But I just think that's just the year. I mean, next year, all 4 could go to Game 5.
Yeah. Well, it's just talking about because everyone's like resting too much. Is that why?
And I'm like, and to that point, when we lost the division to the Astros, every Astros fan was laughing at us because we had to go play and they got to stay home and rest.
Yeah.
So now the rest is not a good thing. Is it a good or is it not a good thing? It's one of those when you get the rest and it works, it's a great thing. When you get it and it doesn't work, it's an awful thing. We need to fix it.
Yeah.
I think it just it makes me mad because it feels like the Rangers are winning. We can't have that. Change the whole format because the redheaded stepchild of the MLB.
Yeah. And it's such baseball's so unique too because for years and decades it was first place team in the American League and the first place team in the National League play for the World Series.
No playoffs at all. Which was very unique in North American sports.
Yeah, and now, as someone who's watched hockey my entire life, I mean, that's my primary fandom. It's, like that. And the NHL has had 16 teams make the playoffs, even when they were a 22-team league. It's like, no, this is what it's all about when you sign up for a playoff. That any team has a shot. It's get in, and you have a chance. The Nationals in 2019. Heck, I'll even go back to hockey. The Minnesota North Stars in 1991, 2 years before they moved to Dallas, went to the Stanley Cup Finals with a losing record.
Wow.
And it's just you either and that's the thing with me. It's like if baseball is going to complain about
their top teams
getting kicked, then go back to whoever's first place in the division, get rid of the Central, just do the East and West, have the 2 winners play in the ALCS, and then whoever wins that play for the World Series if you're that concerned about the best teams getting into the dance.
Which that's what they did for a long time. My dad growing up, in the 80s, 70s, that was what it was. You have 2 divisions. That's why like the White Sox were in the Ranger were division rival of the Rangers for so many years. and that I'm with you on that. And Chase, I guess you are too. That it sounds like baseball is just mad because the Orioles got the crap kicked out of them by the little Rangers team that wasn't supposed to do anything.
Yeah.
And they wanted again, it's clear leagues push certain teams.
Yeah.
Clear the NFL pushes the Chiefs, pushes the Eagles, pushes the Bengals, right? It's clear. Because and I get it, you have to market your good teams. Yeah. I completely understand they market the Cowboys' success or failure. They like it either way.
It's the most valuable franchise in sports.
So I get why baseball wants the Braves, wants the Orioles, wants the Astros, and wants the Dodgers to do good. The Dodgers draw money globally. The Diamondbacks don't.
Yeah.
Right? The Braves are starting to draw money more globally because the Braves are a great franchise.
That's the same thing in the NBA. Would the NBA rather have the Lakers win the title, or would they rather have the Bucks? Clearly, they want the Lakers.
They want the Lakers. And that is the part of sports that kind of sucks is, well, what we wanted to happen didn't happen, so we got to change it up to make sure it does. It's like, no.
That's the magic of sports.
It's what creates, like the Diamondbacks fans are feeling great right now.
Yeah.
They just walked into L.A. and kicked them in the mouth. Because, and again, people want to think, because people get caught up with, it's the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Look at their team.
Yeah.
Great hitting. They have no pitching.
Yeah.
Because
None.
Gonsolin, Buehler, and May are all hurt. Urias is doing potentially very bad things from everything we've heard.
Yeah.
We'd like him to stop doing that if he would like, please.
Yeah.
And so he's not available. Kind of in that same boat with Wander Franco. He was not available for the postseason. So you're stuck with a Clayton Kershaw whose velocity is at 90 because he's injured. Lance Lynn, who is good, but he's not Lance Lynn from a couple years ago, and the other guy, Bobby Miller, a young kind of fireball and ace that will be really good in 2 or 3 years. But it's just the Diamondbacks are hot right now.
Yeah,
because they're not a world beater team. They're what I call they're a collective.
Yes,
really. I mean, one you could say Corbin Kittle's their star, but they just have Kelly and Gallen are just two. It's an awesome 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
and so Diamondbacks took 2, and you can't get mad at that because the Diamondbacks fans are feeling great right now.
Yeah,
and
it's anytime at the end of the day, anytime you elevate another team, you got to remember you are hurting another fan base in response.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's like if we're gonna let the magic of baseball be the magic of baseball, you got to give them some space.
Yeah, and to me that's where it is. Part of what makes the baseball format so great is football is 4 games. That's it. You get 4 games, and you just have to enjoy what you have. I think it's what college is going to have. College is going to love the 12-team format because it's going to be able to get a lot more fans interested in what their team is doing, right? Because teams like Utah right now, they'd be in that playoff, and
then do you have a shot?
And
you got a shot.
They could make a run.
Yeah.
In football, it's going to happen a little bit less, especially in college, because it's a little more about my guy's more athletic than you because we have 5 stars and you have 3 stars. Ha ha ha! I don't have to scheme today. I can just say run deep, right? But and so it's a little bit different. But it again, you get in. I guarantee you that we're going to see a 10 seed win the national championship.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to get pissed. But I'm going to say no. You cannot get pissed when you wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
The magic of, like you said, the magic of it is get in and anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of magic, I got to get rolling here, but I will leave you guys with this. I love stats, which you guys know.
Stats
I mean,
awesome.
I think both of y'all follow me on Twitter with the occasional stat I throw out there for various
I think
things.
saw one last night. I was like, that's really cool.
This is just quintessential the magic of baseball. If the Rangers are halfway to winning a World Series, which means they're halfway to the biggest turnaround season to season to a championship in the history of the sport.
Yeah, I saw that.
They had 94 losses last year. If they were to win the World Series, that is the most a team has gone from the most losses in a previous year to winning the World Series in the history of baseball. The current record is held by the 2013 Red Sox, who lost 93 games in 2012, and then the 87 Twins, who lost 92 games in 86.
Yeah.
And that is those 2 teams are the only teams that have ever lost forget 94 games, 90-plus games at all and won a World Series the next year, the Rangers are in a position to set that record.
Crazy.
Yes, a 2013 Red Sox they were looking to rebuild and just kind of...
And ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, what they did was they signed a bunch of veterans and was just like, well, and we'll trade them at the deadline. Oh, wait, we're good? And then the Twins... That was, the Twins team that I like, though, I think a little more fast, and it's fascinating, too, is in baseball, it has happened once where the World Series was 2 last to first teams.
Mm-hmm.
That was 91
Yeah.
with one of the greatest World Series of all time. It was Twins-Braves.
Yeah.
Twins came out on top in 7. The original and the better call of we'll see you tomorrow night. Screw you, Joe Buck. We love you, Jack Buck. But yeah, like I read that, I was like, I probably could have guessed the Twins, but that's interesting that it'd be record wise the biggest turnaround
to a championship in baseball history.
And that would be fun. Well,
There you
Zach,
go.
thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for letting me invade for a bit, guys.
Yep, we're gonna talk a little more baseball here,
And we'll have you on. We'll have you on next week for
Oh, yeah.
Stars
Hockey
and for more
time.
baseball.
There we go.
Yeah, because if the Astros are in, we're gonna have to have you. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
we're gonna have
It'll be fun at that
Yeah.
point.
So, again, it's just on the Rangers, man. It was a lot of fun.
It was great.
I mean, me and you were texting. I was calling my dad. Like it was a very awesome experience. I think for us Rangers fans that don't really remember much of the previous runs because we were little kids.
Right.
And like in Game 6, 2011, I was asleep. My dad campaigned. We like to joke that we blame my mother for not letting me stay up and watch the end of Game 6. And it's just a little joke that we have. But I think that for a lot of Rangers fans, this is great. We're finally good again. We're in the ALCS. I did not expect to get this far.
No.
And I did not expect to do it. I thought if we get to the ALCS, it'll be a hard fought. The Rays took us 3, the Orioles took us 5. It's gonna be a hard. It was not hard fought.
Mm-mm.
I mean, right now I expect to win every single game we play. We are firing off on all cylinders, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, but you got to see now if it happens. If we take a loss, right? How does this team bounce back? You haven't had a loss this postseason.
Yeah.
You're having all this momentum. You take a loss. Well, what's the message? It's like, okay, it's a loss, but how can we bounce back and make sure this doesn't happen again?
Right, and I think that Bochy's the guy to do that.
Yeah,
because,
I agree.
I mean, he's they asked Scherzer because Scherzer's played for Jim Leland. Scherzer has played for Dusty Baker. No, wait, yeah, he did play for Baker. He's played for Dave Martinez. He's played for Bruce Bochy. He's played for Buck Showalter. This guy's played for some really, really, really good managers. He's played for Dave Roberts. So with Scherzer, they ask, it was Ken Rosenthal, where does Bochy rank? How does he stack up? They always ask the guys, how does he stack up to the managers you've played with? And he was like, well, Bochy, what he does is he has a calming presence. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's just every day. He knows how to get the guys spurred up for the next game, and not to worry about what happened, the previous night, or the previous week, or the previous month, whatever. Because that's been the storyline for the Rangers is, wow, they really bounced back from that awful Seattle series, and that's what I think it was. Was that probably? I mean, you had to think that had to have pissed them off to have the division right there, and then not get it, and then everyone writes you off because of it. Well, okay, we'll just go. We're going to go take out 2 of the 3 teams that baseball wants to win the World Series or to be in it. Rays, Orioles, and Astros probably are the MLB's 3 American League darling teams, and we took out 2 of them.
Yeah,
with ease, just sliced right through them like it was nothing. And so now we get a little bit of a rest, get our guys healthy. Scherzer throws a sim game today, and I think for the Rangers, let's just enjoy the way for the next couple of days. But then I think I'm enjoying it today. By tomorrow, I'll be just focused on the LCS.
Yeah.
Because it's just I don't want to get too high and too low with it because the Cowboys have done that to me for years. I get too high, I get really high, and I get really low, and it's still fun, but the lows hurt a lot.
Right.
So now I'm just I'm happy to be here.
Exactly.
And I don't think this is our only shot. We are opening a window for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons to be really, really good.
Yeah.
And that is what's exciting for me. And we could be even better next year. That's what I think people aren't even realizing. We're looking like we're going to be better next year.
And we're going to make these bullpen additions next year. You would think.
And even then, again, something that I've been talking about is that we could bring the whole bullpen back next year, and they dominate. The same guys, because that's relief pitching. 1 year, you're the greatest thing ever. People forget, a couple years ago, Edwin Diaz was this close to being cut, being out of the league, because he was like 4. He was bad. that is relief pitching. Year to year, only the truly great ones had that consistent success. Guys like Rivera, guys like Hoffman. If you want to go a little bit older, guys like Raleigh Fingers and Lee Smith and Dennis Eckersley for the when they moved, Eck to be a closer. It's really difficult to have that sustained success as a closer year in and year out, because usually you don't throw as much stuff. Usually you throw maybe 2 or 3 pitches, and if obviously in the case of Rivera you throw 1 with the occasional 2-seamer, but you just throw 1, you just throw a cutter. It's difficult to be a consistent relief pitcher for so many years, right? And so we could bring the entire group of guys back next year and they dominate. It can happen. So I think fans that are like, well, we're going to have a whole new bullpen next year. No, we probably will add by 1 or 2 guys.
There does have to be another arm added. There does.
They will add 1 or 2 guys probably, most likely, I guarantee you. Because and they add every year. Ian Kennedy was a late. Will Smith was one of those additions to the bullpen this year. It was one of those late, hey, let's go get a relief pitcher. He pitched with Bochy. And Smith is still valuable as a lefty. His assignment was get Gunnar Henderson out because he can't hit lefties. And I thought, man, this is
threw 7 straight breaking balls.
I think I even texted you this took some marbles from Bochy, because on deck is Aaron Hicks, who can crush lefties. So you're gambling that he's going to get his man out, because if he doesn't get his man out, you're stuck with him for 2 more batters.
Yeah,
they could hit 2 straight home runs. You're stuck. You can't pull him because of the stupid 3-batter minimum rule that I know Bochy hates, and I don't like it either. It's not baseball. It takes away from the strategy of it. But I think for the Rangers, we'll make some additions. I don't think Burke will be back, just from how Bochy used him this year.
Yeah,
he doesn't trust him. I don't think he likes him too much.
And in the way I'm talking about going to hitting now, I don't think Ezekiel Duran will be back. He's not even making the roster.
No, that's not because he sucks.
I'm not saying it's because he sucks. He's a huge part to this team in this whole season. But you got Langford coming up next year.
Yeah,
you don't want to get rid of Leote, I don't think.
No, I think I honestly think they will probably keep Langford down most of the year next year. I think people are getting a little bit, I'm going to say too excited. I think they're getting a little bit overhyped by him crushing minor league pitching. Let him have a full season. If they didn't want to call him up at all next year, I would be okay with that, simply because let him have a full season as a minor leaguer, and then 2025 he's opening day, and see what you have in everybody else. Because right now you have a great problem. You have 3 great outfielders.
Yeah.
And you can't knock them on anything. People are like, well, we'll just move Garcia to the DH role and get Garver out. Garcia is an amazing fielder. I almost think that Langford could be your DH.
Yeah.
Just because, he of those 4 guys, of Leote, Garcia, Carter, and Langford, he's the worst fielder of those 4. Not that he's bad. They're saying his fielding is adequate. He's not going to probably win any Gold Gloves, but he's not going to be costing your team games out in the field.
Right.
He's not going to be a butcher out there. He's going to play league. They say league adequate defense. He'll be okay. But we have potential 3 Gold Glovers out there right now. So for me, I think I think if you want to bring Garver back for a year, because I think he's earned it, right? You're running into a really good problem, which is, we have too many good players that we want to bring back, and we have guys coming up. But next year, I think Duran, he's not on the roster because he's really streaky,
right?
And he had a really bad second half of the year, putrid, awful. And I think they like Smith in that role better, because Smith is the guy that can play all of the infield, and he's faster just from what I've seen.
They both have great speed.
Both have great speed, but Smith is kind of your crafty defensive replacement runner.
Yeah, because he's not when he's played the third base role, he has not done a great job.
Right, and I think Smith's your pinch runner. Him and Jankowski are your pinch runners right now. If Mitch Garver is on first and he's the tying run, here comes Jankowski to run. That's why I think Smith's getting over Duran. But right now, Carter is beating out Duran, and Bochy likes Grossman because Grossman's a veteran and he's a switch hitter and he can hit lefties. So I think, I know that Duran's a righty, but still, I think you trust Grossman in a big spot more than you trust Duran.
A lot more of a patient of a batter too.
Duran's clutch, but he doesn't have that patience, and you don't want that moment to get too big.
Yeah.
Grossman's been there, done that. Moment's not going to get too big for him. So I'm happy with the way they've constructed the roster. I think people are reading a little bit too much into Duran not being on the roster. I don't think it's they don't like him, they want to trade him. I just think it's we don't have a spot for him.
Which is why I think that should use his value while it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there to make a trade for a relief pitcher.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely would be. And would still be more than we got for than the Yankees got for Joey Gallo. Just making that trade pay more dividends. But I do want to give, before we move to some of the other stuff in baseball, a big shout out to John Daniels. Because a lot of Rangers fans are not going to do this, and I want to do this. And that is John Daniels deserves a lot of credit for this team. I know he's a very polarizing figure in Rangers circles, because a lot of people don't like him. And I don't understand how you don't like a guy that, oversaw the greatest success your entire franchise ever had. And people want to say that Nolan Ryan built those teams. No, Nolan Ryan made some boneheaded moves. Nolan Ryan wanted Roy Oswalt. No. Nolan Ryan didn't want Yu Darvish or Sin-Soo Choo, and both of those signings worked out pretty well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's just the worshiping of Nolan Ryan that we do as Rangers fans, and that's fine. But John Daniels him and Ryan built those 10-11 teams, but JD was there. JD built the 15 and 16 team, and JD, his fingerprints are all over this team.
Yeah.
Because him and Chris Young's tenure, and these are all guys that I know off the top of my head that were acquired while Daniels was still in the organization. Now, I know guys like Dunning, that was right after, Chris Young got hired as the GM, so that was kind of Chris Young's move.
Yeah.
But Daniels was still here. Daniels still had to sign off on it. Right? So, Dane Dunning, right, was so here's a list of guys that were acquired while John Daniels was with the Rangers. Jonah Heim, Nathaniel Lowe, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Josh Young, Evan Carter was here, Leote, Garcia, you had Duran, Smith, trying to think of other Leclerc, Burke, you had, some of these guys. A lot of your team, especially a lot of your lineup. Now, a lot of your pitching, that was CY, all CY. John Gray was another JD guy. These are players. Pretty much your entire lineup, John Daniels had a hand in. Chris Young can take no credit for Josh Young. That was all JD. That was 2019. In 2020, I think it was the same thing. CY was here at that point. But Daniels, his fingerprints all over this team. I mean, he's made a lot of these great moves for a lot of and I think Rangers fans need to give him his due credit. If we win one, if we do, knocking on the desk here, if we are able to win this thing, he almost deserves a ring. With the organization. He really, because he helped build the team. Yeah. And he helps give CY kind of that, because Chris Young has zero, experience in an organization. So JD also helped train him. So, it's almost kind of like that, since he's kind of like my apprentice, what he does, I get a little bit of credit for that. Not a ton, I get a little bit. So I just want to give a big thank you to John Daniels for helping build a lot of this team.
Well said.
And CY for bringing it home. It's kind of what it was, right? The one thing Daniels couldn't do was pick a manager. That was his one problem, was he couldn't pick a manager. But moving on, the National League, Phillies Braves are in a deadlock. Looks like the Diamondbacks are going to take care of business. We got Game 4 tonight, Twins, Houston. I think
soon.
Yeah, it's soon. So we'll see next week when we talk to you guys about baseball. We'll see what we're looking at there.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to move to
our final segment of the NFL.
NFL. And if I sound kind of hoarse, I'm getting over a cold thing from over the weekend. So my voice.
I'm getting over the Cowboys and 49ers game.
So my voice I can already hear it starting to give out a little bit. So I'm sorry about that. Week 5, I went 7-7. You went 9-5. So we both kind of had weeks. I had a lot more of an
I think I'm just kind of dominating right now.
Oh yeah, well you, quiet you. So you had Bears at Commanders.
I did have the Bears, right?
No, yeah, you did. I wish I'd picked the Bears.
They were due.
Yeah, they were due. Jags at Bills. We both got burned on that one. Texans at Falcons. We both got burned on that one. Panthers at Lions. We both were correct there. You did pick the Colts. Now I want to make it a bit of an asterisk here. They didn't win because of why you said they would win.
No, they did not win because of why I said.
They won in spite of what Chase said they were going to win. So I want to, you don't get full credit for that one. Giants at Dolphins. I mean, that was, Saints at Patriots. Patriots are just sinking. Like,
and
awfully.
to backtrack to the Colts, I mean, I picked them because I'm a huge Anthony Richardson supporter.
Well, now you can't use that excuse.
No,
anymore.
he is on the IR. Yeah.
Can't use that excuse anymore. Ravens, Steelers. We both picked the Ravens. We were wrong there.
Awful game.
I picked the Rams, the trap game for the Eagles. I was wrong. You were right. You picked the Eagles. Bengals at Cardinals. You got burned on this one. I picked the Bengals.
Yeah.
But the better team won. Jets at Broncos. Both correct. Chiefs, Vikings. Both correct. The Cowboys, Niners. Again, when I do my picks, these are not my homer picks. My homer picks, Cowboys always win. But in this one, this is realistic. I did not see it. I did not see the Cowboys winning, and I was right. And we'll get to that in just a second here. Then Packers at Raiders, and you picked Cowboys. I picked Niners. Then Packers at Raiders. I picked Packers. You picked Raiders. So congrats on that one. The Cowboys. Well, I hate to end on a kind of a sucky note here, but the Cowboys make me want to slam my head into a wall. And the only thing keeping my sanity right now is the Rangers, because usually this time of year I'm used to the Rangers are out of it, and I'm relying on the Cowboys to be really good so that I don't want to die. Well, now it's reversed. The Rangers are keeping me in it, and the Cowboys are pushing me away. That was the worst game I've ever seen us play.
Yeah, it was putrid.
It was. I mean, it was. There's no good. You can. Well, this guy. No.
I saw one good drive where we made it. What 10-7, 14-7, whatever it was.
It was. Yeah,
that was it.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was awful, and I don't know how you come back after that. After just getting completely demoralized. All of this talk about how you're the new doomsday defense, how this is going to be a historic defense. Oh, yeah, you can do all that talking on Twitter. Can you do talking on the field? Because I'm not seeing it. This is twice in 5 weeks you've gotten your butts kicked by an offense. One of them was inferior, one of them was superior, but not that superior. And I don't think that's superior.
Listen, I'm going to give the 49ers their credit. They are the best team in football, and it is not a question.
Yeah.
I know people are going to say Philly, but no, let's be real.
This feels kind of like it could be the Niners' year. But again, it's only week 5. And that's one thing that was my takeaway. I was, it was a beautiful night that night because it's not 100 degrees anymore. Thank you, weather. And I was standing outside. And I'm just thinking, like, you know what? It's only week 5. And I remember when the Patriots got embarrassed by the Chiefs. Everyone said, several years ago that, oh, this is it. And Patriots, their dynasty kept on going. So it's one loss in week 5. You're not done.
We're 3-2.
You could beat this team in the NFC Championship game later in the season. You don't know where this thing was going to take you. That's one thing I'm learning about sports as I get more ingrained into it. You truly don't ever know. Yeah. And weird things happen. And so it is our job to try and assess those things. But even the guys that get paid millions to do what we're doing don't get it right all the time. No. So, I'm not completely mad about it just because, okay, can we get this out of our system? Can you realize what you need to do? And if I was the Cowboys, I'd pick up the phone and call the Broncos and say, what do you want for Pat Surtain?
Nothing, because there's no way he's gone.
It sounds like they could be trading a lot of their defensive guys.
If that's the case, then you give what you got to do something. But, I mean, not.
The defense and I think part of it is the defense, no one's playing well. Everyone's keying off on Micah, and everyone else is crapping and falling back in it, except DeMarcus Lawrence. He's been playing well. Everybody else...
And Van Der Esch has been playing well, and now he's most likely on the IR. So Van Der Esch, he's been playing well, and now he's most likely going to be on the IR.
And that, I hate Trent Williams, by the way. That was that really made me mad. Watching that replay, he shoved him in the back. He shoved him in the back while he was already bent over, knowing that that's going to potentially cause harm to his neck and head. An injury, everyone in the league knows Van Der Esch has a bad neck and head. Everybody. This is not a new thing. Like, everyone knows he's like one of the only guys that wears that wears that neck pad. Mm-hmm. Right? It's an iconic look for Van Der Esch. And this man went up behind him and pushed him into our guy and hurt us. I do not like Trent Williams. If I was a defensive player, next game, I'm going low. It sounds awful, but that's what you do for your teammate. And as a fan, I don't advocate for it because we don't. It's not sports. But as a teammate, I'm going low. That pisses me off. As if you've played sports, you understand that. If someone hurts your teammate, you want to get
right.
You want to get them back.
Yeah.
And so for the Rangers, I'm still in the Rangers. Sorry. For the Cowboys, bounce back Monday Night Football against the Chargers. This is and then you got a bye week, so you get a chance to regroup, get a little healthy, see what happens. But I'm not. The sky is not falling yet. For me, the sky will fall at the end of the season. It always does for the Cowboys. Because as long as I've been alive, most of the time we've been in it till the end of the year. Most of the time. So the sky doesn't fall in week 5. The sky falls week 17. So I'm not worried. This may not be our year. I thought it may be, but they're proving that the team. It's just frustrating because it feels like you got a really good team in football. You don't get good teams. It's hard to sustain success for a lot of years because of the salary cap and everyone wants to get paid. Micah wants the biggest contract ever, and Lamb wants the biggest contract ever, and everyone wants a big contract. You can't pay everybody, so usually contending windows die out.
Yeah,
and it feels like you're wasting your contending window, John, on Twitter and not playing football. It's just very frustrating to see it all on Twitter, to get really excited. To be like, man, this team's talking smack. We're going to go in and we're going to everyone's bet. And then you lay a goose egg. You play like that. If I was a coach, everyone delete your Twitter now. Get off of it. I don't want to see another post from any of y'all. I don't want to see an apology. I don't want to see we're going to get back to work and we're going to turn this thing around. No. Prove it on the field. Quit doing your talking there. Let the scoreboard talk for you. And if you want to add on a little something, then you add on. Because that's what Gronkowski used to do, is he would talk after they won.
Right.
Edelman would talk after they won 3 Super Bowls. You have won nothing. Zip, zilch, nada, nothing. You have won nothing. You have no reason to boast. Oh, because you look good on paper? Because you're supposed to be good? Well, you're not playing good. Anyone is supposed to be good, but you're not playing good right now. It's just very frustrating. Very frustrating as a Cowboys fan to see a team that could win the Super Bowl play like this. It's very, and people want, Dak is not the problem. Anyone out, Dak is not the problem. He did not lose you that game.
No.
There was nothing Dak could have done. Dak could have turned to Super Dak. It would not have mattered. The defense was Swiss cheese. They give it 42 points. I mean, Dak is just not going to do that. That's just not him. Our offense is not geared to score 45 points a game. Just not. And then not against a good defense like that.
It can. I'll tell you that. It can.
It can, but it's not really designed that way. And McCarthy, I'm about over him as play caller. I just don't feel like I'm seeing anything. I feel like I'm seeing a guy that just doesn't really know what he's doing. There's nothing special, nothing cool. It's very bland.
You see the way the 49ers play football, and you're like, why can't we do this?
Yeah, that was what
It's like they're doing all these plays, and it just works so well, and it looked like I could have been a receiver for Brock Purdy, and I could have gotten open. I felt like everything was clicking. Every time he threw the ball, it's like, oh, first down.
It looks easy. That's something I was telling my grandparents about. Because I was 6. I didn't watch with them, but we were talking during the game still on our phones, and I just told them, I'm like, that's what's frustrating is they make it look so easy. They make it look like you can win football games at will, and we're over here struggling. It's very frustrating. It's the perfect word to describe how I feel. I'm frustrated with my team. And at least the Rangers are doing good, but the Cowboys are not. And so now we move on to week 6. And we got
and that conversation.
There we go. Broncos at Chiefs. I like Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I don't think we really need to have much of a discussion on that one. Ravens at Titans. Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens as well. They'll have a bounce back week.
Yeah, I agree. Give me the Falcons over the Commanders. The Commanders are just kind of suck for Caleb Williams at this point.
Yeah. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah. All right. Vikings at Bears. Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson. That's another thing. Justin Jefferson going to the IR. The NFL has an injury problem. This year feels a little big on injuries.
It does.
At least to the stars of the league.
And the talk around Justin... Give me the Bears, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
And the talk about Justin Actually, you know what? I'm changing. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
All right.
They're
going to play inspired for...
They're just still, even without Jefferson, I know he's best receiver in all football. They're still a good team. They still got TJ Hawkinson. They're going to have guys step up. Rookie Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne. Whatever. That's not the point of the conversation. There's talks around Justin Jefferson and his season, honestly. Expected to miss 4 weeks with the hamstring, whatever. This is Jefferson's last year on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
If the Vikings are not by the time that Jefferson's ready to come back, if they are not in any sort of playoff contention, there are talks about Jefferson not even coming back for the year to not risk an injury while on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
Because Jefferson's going to get a max.
Yeah.
Why risk an injury if you're not going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
So there's talks about that, which is interesting.
There's talks, about them tanking.
Yeah. I mean, Jefferson's not going to want to come back and risk injury to play for nothing.
Yeah.
On a life-changing deal.
This is the part of sports. It's the ugly side. It's having to wait and punt a year, which you don't want to do. Seahawks at Bengals. Give me the Bengals. I think they're playing inspired football right now. I like the Seahawks, but give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals now until they show me otherwise because, it's huge to see that, Burrow and
Big
Chase
game. Yeah.
have that connection and just look like themselves. So I think it's a big momentum booster.
Give me the 49er machine over the Browns without Deshaun Watson.
I'm never going against the Niners this whole year.
Give me the Texans over the Saints. I know the Saints played really well, but I like this Texans team. Give me the Texans.
I'm going to go with the Saints here. CJ Stroud has yet to throw an interception in his rookie career, and this is a big test with the Saints defense.
Yeah. Colts at Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars. They don't have your guy.
Give me the Jaguars.
Anthony Richardson. So give me the Jags. Panthers at Dolphins. This Dolphins team is a machine right now.
Can't wait till we play them.
Oh yeah, I know it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins.
There you go. I mean, and then again, I think right now with the Cowboys defense, the problem is that like guys like Curse has anyone seen him? Do we need to start putting up?
I've seen him make unnecessary reference plays.
Have you? Do we need to put posters up? Missing Jaron Curse forgot how to play football. What the hell happened, bro? Like again, I know I'm sitting here behind a microphone. You're the one actually out there playing. What the hell? You're supposed to be this big bad safety for us. Change your number to number 1. Oh yeah, I'm going back. Yeah, you're playing like you did in college. The reason you weren't a high draft pick, or the reason you weren't the number 1 safety to come out of college. I mean, gosh dang, dude, can we play good football?
Yeah.
I've seen you do it. I have seen you do it.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it now, which is very, very frustrating. Patriots at Raiders. Give me, as the great Chris Berman would say, the Raiders.
Give me the Raiders.
I think the Patriots are just...
Until I see something out of that offense.
Everyone's calling for Bill's head, and it's funny. Bill, the head coach, has done a great job. Bill, the GM, has sucked because he's building his team like he did when he had Tom Brady at quarterback. Right? I'm going to bring in Kendrick Bourne, the Juju Smith-Schuster, and I got Tom Brady. Oh, wait, I don't have Tom Brady anymore? Oh, I forgot. Oh, look, our offensive line's hurt. Oh, look. It's just the Patriots are the NFL's footnote right now. It's kind of funny. Lions at Buccaneers. Give me the Lions.
Give me the Lions.
Give me the eventual NFC champ, Detroit Lions. Cardinals at Rams. Give me the Rams. I like this Rams team.
Yeah, they're healthy now.
Yeah, they are.
So give me the Rams.
Rams. Eagles at Jets. As much as I would love the Jets to beat this Eagles team, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Eagles too. I'll tell you this, I won't be shocked.
Yeah.
That Jets defense is going to... We'll see.
Yeah, Giants at Bills. You give me the Bills. Rematch of that Super Bowl. Very famous. Scott Norwood going wide right. Give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills.
Unlike the Super Bowl. And then Cowboys, Chargers.
You write me down for the Bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I did not. Thank you. Give me Cowboys. I know we played really bad, but we should beat this team. If Kellen Moore cooks Dan Quinn, I want Dan Quinn's head on a platter. I can't say he's the best defense coordinator anymore. I don't know about you. I can't say it. I've seen him get his... Can't say the word I want to say. I've seen him get his butt handed to him twice this year. And it should not be. You want to be the best DC in football? The best DC in football doesn't give up 42 points. Go look at any of the league's greatest defenses. Go look at the Steel Curtain. Go look at, and I know it's a different league back then, but go look at the Steel Curtain. Look at the 85 Bears. Look at the 2000s Ravens. Look at the Legion of Boom. Did they ever give up 42 points? I don't remember it. Do you? Because I certainly don't remember them giving up 42 points. You want to act like and talk like you're one of those defenses? Play like it. Because you're not. And it's, again, just the word I'm going to keep using. It is frustrating to see this team do all the talk. We're this good. And to see it as a analyst, to see it and go, well, this team could be one of those great defenses. And then to watch on Sunday, or in this week's case, Monday, and go, well, where the hell is that vaunted team? And I think right now you just got to regroup, and figure it out. But
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
yeah, with the Cowboys,
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, but I
wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? At this point,
the Chargers have a great offense, so this is gonna be another test for the defense.
Yeah.
Now the difference in between the Chargers and the Niners is a
Kellen
lot
Moore.
of things, but
biggest one.
that
to me is
defense,
Kellen Moore.
that defense is yes, but that defense is also, you can beat that defense.
Oh,
you
you
can beat that Chargers defense. They got great pass rush, but the O-line's healthy. You could beat that secondary.
Yeah.
So it's good. This game is going to rely on Dak.
So, to end it on a good note, the Rangers are in the ALCS. If we didn't announce it to you guys yet, we're gonna on a high note here, and we will talk to you guys next week when we preview Game 3, which will be Wednesday night. And I really want to go. I don't know about you, but I'm like,
I may be.
I may too if I can scratch. If I can just be like, I just need to get the financial backing here. I need to get a loan to go to these games because they're a little expensive. But ladies and gentlemen, we will talk to you guys next week. We'll have Zach back, and we will have a full slate of sports. It really won't just be
Basketball right around the corner.
We'll have basketball. We'll have more hockey. But this is, for Rangers fans, this is really cool.
Yeah.
It really is to go back to the ALCS. And we're 2-0 in our ALCS. We've never lost in the LCS. We never lost a series. So we will talk to you guys next week.
Have a great one.
Yeah, see ya.